Commissioners, would all those who are willing and able please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of our country. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Grant us, O Lord, light to our understanding, prudence in our investigating, foresight in our planning, sincerity in our deliberating, the grace to follow truth in our judgment. Help us to be moved in our decision, neither by fear nor by self-interest, and to do our work faithfully. May we respect the authority vested in us, for thou art the source of all authority. And may we use in our directives for the common good and for thy honor and glory. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you all. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young. Here. Commissioner Plechnik.
Present.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Here. Okay, this brings us to our first public comment portion. I believe we have some introductions. Joel, did you want to lead into those?
Good morning, Commissioners. A couple items that I want to go over today that we've been kind of working on over the last month or two and that are coming to fruition currently and in the next few weeks. The first thing is via our telecommunications department, we are partnering with the Governor's Office of Workforce Transformation on the new high school internship pilot program for tech students. We have our two interns here today that Paul will introduce, but I want to give credit where credit's due. Paul really pulled this together with his connections with Auburn Career Center and kind of got myself and Jason and Mike involved, and we kind of put the finishing touches on. So with that, I want to introduce Paul Stefanko from our telecommunications department.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Joel. Commissioners, as Joel said, the high school tech intern pilot program is an opportunity for Ohio employers to hire high school interns and receive reimbursement for a portion of their wages. The goal of this pilot program is to connect Ohio high school students with technology roles and technology businesses in Ohio at an early age. Auburn Career Center was chosen as a pilot site for summer interns. I sit on the Board of Education for Auburn Career Center, became aware of this. I contacted Joel and worked closely with him for Lake County to become a pilot site for interns, and asked Michelle Rodewald, who's the Director of Adult Workforce Education at Auburn, to consider Lake County to be a pilot site. All approvals were obtained, and we are happy to welcome Devin Donnelly and Michael Moorhead to the Telecom Department for the summer. Auburn, I should add, was the first JVC in Ohio to fill all 11 slots, and that program is working very, very well. We have high expectations from that, and it's working, as I said, as it should. So, Devin and Michael, if you would stand. On the right is Michael Moorhead. On the left is Devin Donnelly. These young men have impressed me. I think they have a bright future.
Well, Paul, I have to say, for you to say you're impressed, that means a great deal to me. I'm excited about this. Auburn Career Center is a facility that I value greatly. There's a lot of good people who go through that program, and the telecommunications department's a fantastic training ground. If I may say, you're going to find Paul's a tough boss, but he's a good man. The reason I can say that is I used to work for him. I started out in the telecom department, so you never know where you're going to wind up. But I really appreciate your efforts, and thank you for joining the team. You have a bright future in front of you, young man. Thank you. Colleagues, gentlemen?
I do have a quick question.
Your microphone, sir.
Paul,
Yes, sir.
so how does it work exactly? There's incentives offered?
The county,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. The county will actually receive a portion of their salary in return. It's not a tremendous amount of money. It's a 25 to 50% up to $1,000 the county will receive back towards their salary. It's not a fortune, but it's a nice gesture. It gives my department an opportunity to get some interns in and to assist in the summertime, especially when our workload is considerably higher.
Okay. And what kind of work do they do as interns?
Devin, what were you doing yesterday?
Come on up to the microphone here. There's folks watching this, and you know with Commissioner Plechnik on the team, you're going to get photos here, so.
You can just stay right here.
Got to work on those smiles, too.
So just yesterday, I was up in a bucket truck 60 feet high, trying to figure out or trace down a siren issue with one of the other workers in telecom. So I had to go all the way up there with him and just, get a grasp of what he was doing.
Okay, all right. Did they furnish you with a chute?
Yeah, Ron, we don't talk about
For safety purposes.
aerial acrobatics.
I had a harness on, and I was mounted to the bucket, so I was safe and secured in there.
Safe and secure, mounted to the bucket. All right, sounds good.
Mike?
Thank you. Go ahead.
I've been working more on the server side than physically, so I've been moving cameras from one server to another server and then transferring the views that other people have seen. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Thank you.
Well,
Mr. Plechnik?
for my part, I'd just like to recognize the Lake County Telecommunications Department for understanding it's not just about getting the job done, it's about mentoring people and bringing them up. We always need to be bringing the next generation forward because we have important, technically precise work to do, and you don't learn it in a day. It takes a lifetime. As Commissioner Hammercheck said, he's worked in every aspect of county government before joining us as president. And for you to take a path through your career, you need to build the foundation now. And I'm grateful that Lake County is working so hard with the Office of Workforce Transformation from Ohio and the governor's office to give you the opportunity to serve, but also to learn. So thank you for being here. Thank you for recognizing the importance of building your foundation. And Paul, thank you for training them up, because we're going to need more good people in the years to come, and they're going to look back and be giving a speech someday and say, well, I remember when I was at the Lake County Commissioners as an intern, and now I'm President of the United States.
There you go. And the fact that you're doing this cheerfully, that is a huge bonus. Mind if we get a photo with you guys?
Sure.
Yeah? Ron?
Sure.
I'm sorry. Stay right here.
It's never official until you get the photos out. Come on up, Jack. There you go. Paul, please join us.
Just keep your eyes open. One more. And another. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Sure.
Okay, get to work.
We only got 4 more hours. There we go.
Thanks, Joel. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Perfect.
But wait, there's more. Right?
Oh, wait, there's more. There's more. I thought that was a very fitting lead into our next item, as that is a great opportunity for us as the county to do some workforce development internally. Next, I want to introduce Corey Vojak, who we are putting into the position of Director of Workforce Development coming in July. I'm really excited to add Corey to our team. Corey has been a unofficial member of our team since 2017, working for United Labor Agency, but housed right in our Job and Family Services building and working on projects on a contractual basis for the county. So with that, I'm going to introduce Corey to you guys. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. Corey, welcome.
Welcome. Thank you, Joel. Commissioners, I am excited for this opportunity, and I am looking forward to working with everyone here. I want to share my passion for workforce development and helping people, and I am looking forward to doing that and providing that for the job seekers and employers here in Lake County. So thank you very much.
Well, you're welcome. I think it's fair to share that although I appreciate all those foundational qualifications, the fact that you're open-minded to networking, to gaining what I call reach, getting outside of Lake County, getting outside of our region, those are very important things. Your openness, I look forward to seeing you develop and grow into that position in a transformational way. So don't let us down. We have high hopes for you, young man.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Gentlemen, anything you want to add?
I'm going to be meeting with Corey here shortly, so I'll
Absolutely.
withhold comments. Welcome aboard. It's going to be great.
Thank you.
Mr. President, like Commissioner Young and yourself, I have high expectations, but I also have high hopes with respect to Mr. Corey Vojak. I'm hopeful that he combines a long career of experience with the county, but still a lot of youthful energy that he can bring together to have a more externally focused workforce development team for Lake County, because we're committed to connecting jobs with job seekers, and that doesn't happen by sitting behind a desk or shuffling papers or even with a great ad campaign. Yes, the paperwork needs to be done, and we absolutely need to get the word out, but I think the best way to do that is for all of us to be out in the community talking to the new businesses, talking to the employers that are working harder and harder to find qualified people to serve them, and really making that personal connection. Lake County is big enough to do great things, but we're small enough that we connect as a community. And in talking with Mr. Vojak, myself, I see his commitment to being out there and externally focused so that he can actually personally bring together the job and the job seeker, the business, and the people who want to work with them. Because that's been the big challenge, COVID and post-COVID, is finding qualified people to do the jobs. Most of my time in public service, we've talked about job creation and the need to create new good-paying jobs. But in this period of interesting times, the bigger challenge in Lake County, at least, has been finding the job seeker who's qualified for the job. There are jobs that we haven't been able to fill. And so I think that Mr. Vojak, I think that Corey will be an instrumental part of that solution here in Lake County, so that employers and businesses say, I need to be in Lake County because that's how I'll fill my payroll, that's how I'll staff up with the best possible people. Because we've already got the best people here, we're the best place to live. Now we just need to connect them with the best paying jobs, the opportunities that really will make their career. So we're excited about the hard work that Corey Vojak is going to be doing as our new Director of Workforce Development.
Well said. Thank you. Corey, anything you want to add?
Just that I concur absolutely with the commissioners here, and that's been one of my internal missions as far as when I started with the United Labor Agency, and I want to continue to provide that and build upon that. So thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moving on to our next. Joel, anything further?
No, that's it.
Very good.
Oh,
Corey! Oh my gosh! I'm getting the high sign. What did I forget? The camera. Hold on, gentlemen. Sorry, Corey. You almost made it out the door. Thank you.
All right. Maybe I'll take it on two. All right. Oh. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And another. One more. Okay, thank you.
Congratulations, Corey.
Okay, now moving on in the public comment section. Do we have anyone in the audience wishing to address the board? Yes, sir. Mr. Massey?
Just so you know, I'm acting on behalf of lobbyists for citizens. Two things on this public comments. First was, I'd like to thank Commissioner Young for organizing a meeting between myself and the representatives of the Visitors Bureau. We did have a meeting. Basically, the consensus was Lobbyists for Citizens has agreed to promote the Visitors Bureau, and at any meetings that I attend, I will make sure that the people at the meeting know about their brochures. It's a very fine brochure. Our goal is to make sure that all citizens of Lake County and the businesses prosper. That being said, I also made the promise that I would follow up with my complaint with the Court of Claims. I just want to make sure that the commissioners know, and Mr. Hackman knows, that I have this week filed a complaint with the Court of Claims, that basically says that I believe that the Visitors Bureau is a functional equivalent of a public body. So we'll see what they say. Be that as may, I am still going to try to support them as I can. The second issue is the Deepwood Center. I have done some research on the $350 million that the county has invested, and I find that of that $350 million, $64 million is assigned to the Deepwood Center. I did send a public records request to Elfie Roman, and she responded very quickly, and the records request was for the financial statements of Deepwood. I got the budget for 2020 and 2021, and what I was trying to determine was what justification do they have for maintaining $64 million. Of the $64 million, $15 million is in their budget stabilization fund. To give you a point of reference, the county's budget stabilization fund is $9 million. So I'm having some difficulty trying to determine why they need $64 million. I asked for a balance sheet. In the fund accounting world, it's called a statement of financial position, to see if there were some tremendous liabilities that they have that they needed the funds to ultimately pay. I was told that they do not have a balance sheet, and therefore I was sort of stopped at that particular point. However, my concern is this, that I was told that they had a levy in 2010, and basically that they wanted to make sure that they had enough money so that they didn't have to keep going back to the taxpayers for a tax levy. Although I can understand that, the problem that I have as a taxpayer is when you're taking $64 million out of the economy with the velocity of money, that is a negative impact on the economy of Lake County. I know that any investment income that is earned on that $64 million does not go to the Deepwood Center. It really goes directly to the general fund. So I just wanted the commissioners to know my next step was I will be going to the Budget Commission of the auditor and the prosecutor and the treasurer, and I will be asking them to justify for us why Deepwood Center needs $64 million. If they can justify it, that's fine. And this is not a matter of, is Deepwood Center doing a great job? Of course they are, and they're servicing those with special needs. So this is not an issue that they're doing a bad job. It's just basically that I think there's some incorrect thinking by saying that we've got to try to get as much money as we can from the taxpayers so we don't have to keep going back to them. So I've got a couple other issues, but I will say that for the second public comments.
while you're up there, just to be clear, when you're saying the county has invested 300 million, it's the taxpayers in Lake County. You're not implying that the Board of County Commissioners have put 300 million.
No. What the $350 million from Mr. Poole, the finance director, who I think a great deal of, is the accumulation of funds from the various departments of the county that, be they utilities or whatever. It's not just the general fund. The general fund has like $12 million, but the $350 million are the various departments within the county.
Okay, I just wanted to be clear that we're not investing. This is a tax base. Got it. Okay, just wanted to be clear on that.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else in the audience? Jason, do we have any electronic submissions of comments? Okay, yes we do.
Yes, Commissioners, we have two. I believe we printed hard copies. Two public comments submitted. I'll begin with the first one by Judith Willor, 7439 Case Avenue, Mentor, Ohio. Begin comment to the Lake County, Ohio Commissioners. Recently, I have been following your discussions about replacing the Lake County Jail with a totally new $100 million facility. It is my understanding that studies show that the current jail could be refurbished for less than half the cost. I also understand that plans for a new building, including increasing the number of beds from 350 to 526. In addition, I am aware that the state is in the process of changing the law so that low-level offenders will no longer be incarcerated just because they cannot make bail. All of this makes me seriously question the need for a newly constructed larger jail. There have also been discussions about the need for increased services and facilities for mental health and substance abuse cases in Lake County. Wouldn't it make more sense to spend some money in those areas instead, thus reducing the number of incarcerated individuals and decreasing the chances that people with mental health and drug problems would be repeatedly jailed? We citizens of Lake County need you to take a long, hard look at how money is spent and make sure that it really meets the needs of the people. Thank you for your consideration. Judith Willor, end of quote. Second public comment submitted by Kathy Dean, 344 Bank Street, Painesville. Begin quote, to the Lake County Commissioners. As a resident of Lake County and a registered voter, I am writing to voice my concern on spending $100K for a new and larger jail. The state is working on a bipartisan bill which would overhaul the Ohio bail system. The bill is backed by conservatives and liberals. The first hearing on HB 315 and SB 182 will be next week. If passed, these bills would responsibly reduce incarceration, reform the bail system, and Lake County would not need a bigger jail. According to a report by the Criminal Sentencing Commission, 40% of incarcerated persons in Lake County are being held because they cannot afford bail and committed low-level crimes or misdemeanors. I am excited to see state legislators work to safely reduce the jail population. If the jail population is reduced, would a jail restoration project be more prudent? According to reports, there was nothing structurally revealed or observed that would indicate significant issues regarding the substructure of the building. A restoration program which includes properly, comprehensively, and thoroughly performing all the recommended restoration repairs and replacement will put the facility in a position to perform as it was originally intended and make the structure economically maintainable. Also, the minimum security jail on Blaze Namath Road is permanently closed. What would it take to reopen this facility? It was only in operation from 2001 to 2009. It is my understanding this facility was planned for inmates awaiting bail or those participating in a work release program. I understand the space was used for those sentenced for 1 year or less and was closed because of budget cuts. The building is 20 years old but only used for 9 years. What would it take to make this a viable space? Sheriff Leon Bruno has expressed a need for additional space for mental health, substance abuse treatment. Is reopening Blaze Namath an option to explore? I hope that the legislature overhauls Ohio's bail system, that the Lake County Commissioners decide that it is in the best interest of Lake County to build a new jail. I believe the question should be decided by the voters. Respectively, Kathy Dean, end quote.
Very good, thank you. Appreciate the submission. Just for those who are taking the time to watch these meetings, these discussions are in the interest of openness and transparency. No decisions have been made. We are in the process of due diligence. I believe that last paragraph we citizens of Lake County need you to take a long, hard look at how the money is spent and make sure that it really meets the needs of the people. That is the exact process that we're doing. I'm sure those of you that have been following us, sometimes we have some spirited discussions. I think we are being very diligent regarding the minimum security facility. I believe that was, I don't see anyone here from the sheriff's office, so I'm going to take a swing at this. It was for nonviolent offenders, short term, and there were some economic issues at the time. The staff, it was deemed more appropriate to pull the staff back to the main facility. The current facility is in fact being used for NeoCamp, so it's not that there's an empty building sitting there. It is actually being used for public purpose and helping meet the needs of our greater community. So just wanted to get that information out there, that what you are seeing and what you are hearing is that open process. Commissioner Young, Commissioner Plechnik, anything you want to add?
Mr. President, first to echo, I agree that this conversation is exactly the deliberation that is rightly called for such a significant investment of public dollars. The comment was made that we might be able to restore the jail for about half of what it would cost to build a new one. Those numbers could bear out. We've seen numbers of around 50 million potentially for a restoration, rehab, refit of the old jail building versus a potentially high-end number of 100 million for a new jail. I would just point out that in all likelihood, a restoration would give about a 10-year useful life to the structure. So you're talking about a cost per year, assuming $50 million of $5 million. On the other hand, if we were to have a new facility, you would see a 50 to 60 year useful life. Let's say 50 on the lower end, assuming 100 million on the higher end. Even with those somewhat conservative assumptions, 50 years, $100 million, that's a $2 million per year cost. So it's really important that we focus not just on how much we pay as a sticker price in years 1, 2, 3, 4 for a rehab or a construction of a building. We have to look at how much of a useful life are we getting out of it. And if we're paying $5 million per year to get 10 years out of the old jail versus $2 million per year to get another 50 years out of a new building, you're saving quite literally 60% of the cost per year by that metric. And in all likelihood, rehab would cost more than $50 million, and building a new jail would cost somewhat less than $100. So we're probably looking at an even more extraordinary comparison. But I absolutely agree that we need to find the most fiscally responsible solution. We need to continue this conversation. But just using those numbers, $50 million for 10 more years, that's $5 million per year, versus $100 million for 50 years, that's $2 million per year. That's less than half the cost for the taxpayer. Mental health is certainly a significant issue, and I do look forward to hearing from the sheriff what he thinks we might be able to use the old facility for. And I think that that's a useful question. I'm grateful that the resident posed it. But I do think that building a new jail also helps to address that issue. While we're not state senators, state reps, or Congress people who set national or state policy and can actually create a new network of mental health facilities, we certainly can construct a jail with those issues in mind and try to have a more humane attempt to rehabilitate rather than just incarcerate people. So I would be hopeful that if we take the path of a new jail, that is a serious consideration.
Very good, and I would echo and amplify what I believe we call continuity of care. I think that's very important for people to have a successful aversion to not going to jail and successful avoidance of reentry. Commissioner Young, anything, sir?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that I think it's important that we keep open minds, that we haven't gotten any official reports yet on the cost of no competitive bidding, that sort of thing, on the cost of a rehab as opposed to new construction. Just how urgent the need really is for the work, some of the work that's being considered right now. Until we have that information, a lot of our projections are just conjecture. I fully support the idea of rehab. and working closely with folks to pull them back into society again. And I would like to see more resources being directed toward those efforts. Although I think we do quite a bit in Lake County now, a lot of great stuff, in fact. But there's still a real need out there. So at any rate, I'm glad we're working on it, and I think we're moving forward. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, any other comments? Jason, come in, or are we good for now? Okay, thank you. Okay, and with that, Madam Clerk, first resolution, please.
In the Utilities Department, resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Water Operating Fund and Project Fund 595 Walnut Street Waterline Project 449W.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution certifying unpaid sewer and water sums and administrative charges to the Lake County Auditor.
Move to approve. Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations and transferring cash within Lake County Department of Utilities Sewer Operating Fund and Project Fund 596 Mentor Wastewater Treatment Facility VFD Replacement Project 440S.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing the Board of Lake County Commissioners to execute a contract agreement with Great Lakes Observing System issued under Department of Commerce National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Grant Award for the Lake County Department of Utilities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Randy, you want to give some background? That title sounds pretty impressive.
It is impressive. Thank you, Commissioner. This grant is going to allow us to put some monitoring sondes, S-O-N-D-E-S, sondes in our raw water stations, both at Aquarius and Bacon Road, and it's going to give us essentially a significant amount of data early on in the treatment process, and also data that we're currently not collecting in order to allow us to make adjustments in our water treatment early on, several hours prior to actually testing it in the lab. So, and then along with this, we will be the GLOS, the Great Lakes Observing System, will also be gathering this data for just the health of the entire lake. There's several of these along the lake shore right now. These are the first two that we will be having in Lake County. And
the raw water, that's the fresh water coming in from Lake Erie.
Exactly, yeah. We draw our water from Lake Erie every day, and this will these testing stations or sondes will be located in the raw water station and give us data on that raw water prior to treatment.
Very good. Further discussion?
Mr. President?
Sir.
We can't say it enough. Literally all the water from the tap comes from Lake Erie, and when I had the opportunity to tour with Mr. Roethlisberger the Willoughby water facility, I was really impressed to see that the quality of the raw water coming from Lake Erie frankly would have met the standards for treated water about 50 years ago. The reality is we are starting with some of the freshest water in, frankly, not just the state, not just the country, the world, but we also have state-of-the-art facilities to make sure that we really are having a cleaner, safer product in most cases than bottled water. So cheers to the Department of Utilities.
Yes, they are an amazing crew, I must concede. All right, Ron, anything?
I'll drink to that.
Oh, and with that, Madam Clerk, save us.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In Job and Family Services Department, resolution authorizing execution of a sub-grant agreement between the Lake County Workforce Development Board and the Lake County Department of Job and Family Services to serve as the deliverer of adult and dislocated worker career services for the Ohio Means Jobs Lake Comprehensive Career Center.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Suzanne, anything you want to add?
Good morning, Commissioner. I would just want to add that the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, which we frequently refer to as WIOA, requires local area workforce boards to select a deliverer of adult and dislocated worker career services for the career centers. And our local Lake County Workforce Development Board has selected Job and Family Services to continue to perform these services. And the Department of Labor has determined that this activity must be performed by a sub-recipient under a sub-grant agreement. So today, we have the sub-grant agreement between the Workforce Development Board and Job and Family Services, which we are requesting be approved.
Very good, thank you. Anything further? Thank you, ma'am. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Commissioner's Office, resolution authorizing execution of a memorandum of understanding between the Lake County Board of Commissioners on behalf of the Lake County Stormwater Management Division and Madison Township for the Lake Road West Stormwater and Resurfacing Project.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Did you want to give a bit of background while you're here, you know, get your steps in?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioners, this is a project in Madison Township that the is out to bid right now. Bids are scheduled to be open next Wednesday. And it is a drainage improvement project along Lake Road West, which is between Hubbard Road and Redbird Road. So there will be drainage improvements and then the resurfacing of the roadway. And the memorandum of understanding, what that allows us to do is to forward the funds for the drainage portion of the project to Madison Township so they can pay the contractor, and then at the end of the project, any funds that were not used will be returned to us.
Very good, and I think I failed to introduce you, Tim. So Tim Miller, Director, Stormwater Management.
Yes, thank you.
I failed to introduce you, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions for Tim? Sir, thank you.
Thank
Madam
you.
Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
In the Finance Department, resolution approving payment of bills as listed on the Commissioner's Approval Journal in the amount of $1,260,158.09.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution approving purchase orders as listed on the Commissioner's Purchase Order Approval Journal in the amount of $162,641.87.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution increasing appropriations of various non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes.
Resolution transferring cash and appropriations within various general and non-general fund accounts.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young,
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. This brings us to our departmental reports portion of our meeting. Utilities. Randy?
Nothing further today, Commissioner. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir. Job and Family Services. Suzanne?
No additional report today.
Thank you, ma'am. County Administrator Jason Boyd.
Good morning once again, Commissioners. Just a couple quick updates, and we have the Director of Nursing, Diane Denmead, here today that I'm going to call up just in a second to tag team on the Health District COVID kind of status update. Did want everyone to know the Governor last Friday ended the state declaration of emergency, which is, I guess, is a really, really good thing to hear. The clerk, myself, Director Busher, Deputy Director Hum, and Mr. Hackman are working on a resolution for the commissioners to consider at a future upcoming meeting to address the the resolution that the county commissioners declared March 20th, I believe, of 21. So that will be forthcoming for commissioners' consideration maybe as soon as next week. So be on the lookout for that. Just a quick update, the Health District, I'm not going to steal any thunder. The vaccination opportunities continue. I think today, Mentor Public Library, I believe you guys have something going on. Mentor on the Lake, there's one in Madison on Monday at Sahara Mobile Home Park, and in Wickliffe next Tuesday. With that being said, I'll leave it to the experts and have Ms. Denmead come up and provide some additional information.
was going to
Mrs.,
say,
I'm
it's
sorry.
Mrs.
Yeah, Mrs., I'm sorry.
I worked really hard to get the Mrs. part. I did. It took a while. Okay, good morning. Do you need to spell my name or anything? I'll figure out how to do this at some point. Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yes,
Okay.
otherwise it shows up as Dylan, right?
Yes. So I am Diane Denmead. I am the Director of Nursing and Clinical Service at the Lake County General Health District. I am here partially because there's been a lot of COVID changes at the state level and obviously the county level. But Commissioner Graham did say that, one, I'm allowed to say no pictures.
Uh-oh. Thank you, ma'am.
And two, that he thanks you for your support and your continued support on behalf of himself and the health district. So part of what I'm going to be talking about is, I'm sure you've probably heard by now that the health district has officially started our Ics Demobilization. That started on Monday, which just means we're condensing our vaccine and COVID efforts. We're going from the full-scale model, which had about 8 sections, down to 1. So I'm now fully in charge of the ICS model in relations to COVID. Myself and my nursing supervisor, Rebecca Tren, who you guys did not get to meet when you came out to tour the facility 2 weeks ago, which she was very disappointed with.
We'll have to come back.
Hey, clearly I did something right if I was invited back.
There you go.
So on the aspect of clinics we have going on, Jason touched on a little bit of what we're doing today. We have the mobile unit out at Mentor Public Library in Mentor on the Lake, and I've got my ODH provided nurses actually at the jail right now, vaccinating over there, and we will be going back to NeoCap next week. And then in regards to more of our clinic schedule, which as you can see looks very pretty and is very busy.
And color-coded, no less.
Oh, of course. Everything orange is the mobile unit. So you'll notice that the mobile unit is out almost the entire month of June. We've got multiple clinics on multiple days with multiple locations. And we've all learned how to drive the mobile unit, which is quite fun. I'm not sure you guys wanted to hear that part, but it's quite fun.
As long as you don't turn 16 when you're driving it.
Nah.
Just don't run too many people down in the name of good health.
Oh yes, in the name of public health, I will not run anybody over with the bus.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Good thinking.
And then in case you guys are curious over what some of our numbers look like, because, with the ICS demobilization and the changing of our clinic schedule, we have fully transitioned away from megapods, which were our big, 5,000 unit pods. We did 8 of those and vaccinated about 11,000 people total with those. With our walk-ins, our businesses, we've done about 2,000 people with that. The mobile unit, we've done about 1,000 people so far, which is 3% of everyone that we've vaccinated. We've managed to fully vaccinate with the mobile unit, which I know it doesn't probably seem like a lot to you guys, but it's a lot to us because that's 3% of the county residents that we couldn't get to or couldn't get to us. So we take it out to them, then they get their vaccine.
And that model is basically the same model we did for the Complete Count Committee for the census. There's a segment of society that's either immobile where they can't get out, limited mobility, or just challenges that you have to go to them. I think that's fair to say that was the experience that we had last year. And I believe you're following that same model, getting to the challenge segments of our society.
Yes, we've been following some of the census tract data, and it's lining up almost perfectly. Where we have the low rates of vaccination status is where we had the low rates of census data reported.
And that's an example of the great partnership between the Board of Commissioners and the Health District. We've been trying to share resources. I guess that's one of the reasons why we can honestly say we're one of the top performers in the state. I think we actually have a front page story with the News Herald today, so I'll get that little plug in for the News Herald.
Oh, good. I'll have to read that at some point.
Put that out there.
And then if you want more data about where we're at state-wise, Delaware County is the top performing county in the state right now with 61.5% vaccination. Lake County is 54%. And we don't even count the other counties because they're under 52%, and the state is at a 47% rate of vaccination. So I'm just happy being number 2 in vaccination rate right now.
Pretty good.
Any questions?
Regarding your mobile unit, we are working with the health district to acquire that permanently for Lake County to be stationed here. We've had great cooperation from the governor's office, the Ohio Department of Health. They stepped up. I have to admit, yesterday there were a flurry of calls. There's been a couple of weeks of acquisition discussions, but yesterday things really came to a head. They are working with us and cooperating. We're going through the acquisition process now to formalize things. Jason, I don't know if you want to talk about the ARP funds, but this would be a qualifying expense. The Board of County Commissioners is working with the health district to help reimburse. We're just working through the logistics. So I think that's emphasizing that bit.
Yeah, commissioners, we're working with the district and your leadership, commissioner, on that unit. We have to make sure we follow procurement and all the other necessary statutes. But yes, work items put forth by Commissioner Graham, the nurses, a mobile unit, really anything COVID related will quote unquote check the box for an ARP eligible use. So we're willing and able, once we get all the documentation in line, that would be an approved use. So, and I think we're pretty close to getting all those sorts of things from the health district.
Very good, and it's basically literally that. It is a mobile clinic. It's not just this big toolbox. It actually is the unit. Is that a fair description?
Yeah,
You might want to grab the microphone. He's a little taller than you. So.
I noticed. Yeah, it is well, you guys saw it, but I'll describe it so the public can understand what I'm trying to say.
Thank you.
It is essentially, the outside of it looks like a short lake train bus. The inside of it is fully rigged with vaccine fridges, vaccine freezers. It's got a patient chair. It's got sharps containers. It has a wheelchair ramp, so we can actually bring in anybody who's handicapped and can't get into the vehicle themselves to be vaccinated. And we can keep them in there, and that we can have the air conditioning going. So when it's hot out and we're at Madison Township Park, we can have the AC going and keep people inside for their 15 to 30 minute observation time.
And just by way of background, also to emphasize, this is something that can be used in the future for other operations, not just the COVID response. This is being used for it currently, but on an ongoing basis, there'll be an asset to the county in general.
Oh yes, when we're not doing COVID, we're doing normal childhood and adolescent vaccine clinics. We do flu clinics in normal years, knock on wood, whatever that means. So this is something that we could take to the lower, I forgot the word, where we go to, help me out here, what am I forgetting the word to?
What are we talking, the schools, the adolescent?
Yes, what we used to do was we used to go to lower equity areas in the county to do childhood vaccinations. So we would eventually be returning to those sites with the mobile unit to help increase those routine vaccination rates.
And Health Commissioner Graham has been very instrumental in working with and educating the Board of Commissioners, allowing us to keep the community engaged. But you also are now, because of the demobilization on the COVID side, you're having to ramp up your normal responsibilities, so that stress is also upon the health district. Is that a fair statement to continue to repeat and repeat and repeat?
Yes, we are still in a pandemic. We are still trying to handle the pandemic, but we have been told to get back to normal.
Very good. Gentlemen, anything you want to add? Very good. Anything you want to add, ma'am?
No, I'm good.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Jason, anything further in your report? Very good. Okay, moving on to Clerk. Madam Clerk.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that our commissioners meeting next week is going to be on Tuesday instead of Thursday. So it's going to be Tuesday, June 29th, here at the same time at 10 a.m. Tuesday.
Very good. Thank you, ma'am. And legal.
No reports, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Okay, old business. Do we have any old business to come before the board? Very good. New business. Do we have any new business?
Mr. President?
Sir.
I just want to take a moment to recognize the 30th anniversary of Slovenia's independence. It's celebrated as Statehood Day every year on June 25th. From the initial declaration in 1991 to today, Ohioans were instrumental in the United States being one of the first countries to recognize Slovenia's independence from communism and freedom And many, like Mayor, Governor, Senator George Voinovich, pushed hard for that reality. So Ohio and the Slovenians here are very proud that we were able to have a small role in helping the old country become free, like the United States. And since then, we've been great partners in democracy and freedom together. In particular, between Northeast Ohio, where more folks of Slovenian descent live than anywhere else in the world other than Slovenia. And myself, as the son of a Slovenian immigrant, my father was born in Slovenia, came here when he was about 11 years old. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be free and to celebrate Slovenia's independence through the rest of this week. I know there are big picnics planned at Slovenska Prestava, out in Harper's Field in Ashtabula, at S&PJ Farm in Kirtland this Sunday. So I know so many Lake Countyans and folks in Northeast Ohio are going to be going out to celebrate Slovenian independence. Congratulations, freedom is 30 years old in Slovenia.
Thank you, sir.
John, are you handing out sausages from your office or downstairs?
We don't have any Slovenian sausages in the administration center, but I promise there will be plenty for consumption at S&PJ Farm in Kirtland, as well as Slovenska Prestava and Ashtabula.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
Very good. Quick update, NOACA, we've moved forward with the long-range planning. Lake County is going to be a beneficiary of some exciting projects. One most notable that did get added back in was State Route 44 in Jackson Street. Going to be a significant addition to help our overall county, but to help align our workforce, especially here in Paynesville, and newly developing opportunities in that area. So that's something exciting to look forward to. We're also working very closely with the city of Paynesville on that. They've demonstrated a willingness to partner with us, and we with them. So good stuff. Let's see, what else? I also would be remiss if I didn't say that we continue to have a strong working relationship with the governor's office. Literally, if we have questions and concerns, they do address them. So for better or worse, folks, we are getting a great deal of service, which is one of the reasons why Lake County continues to be one of the higher performing counties. If we need resources, they are being provided. So I felt that that was important to mention. Moving on to, if there's no further new business, public comments. Anyone? Sir, Mr. Massey.
Brian Massey, 8196 Rainbow Drive in Concord. Looking at the Ohio Revised Code, Section 939 deals with liability for public money received or collected, unclaimed monies. And it basically is saying that any unclaimed money within 5 years, the money shall revert to the general fund of the public office. From Mr. Matus, I find that fund number 894, and its title is Surplus Over, has $5,324,000 as of April 30th. Mr. Matus told me that this fund is the accumulation of overages of tax payments through the Treasurer's Office on various parcels of real estate for various reasons. The second fund is fund number 803, unclaimed monies, as of 4/30, was $735,359. I'm just wondering what mechanisms do we use to try to get the money back into the hands of the taxpayers, and can Lobbyists for Citizens be a platform to help with that task?
We will get you some information. I know that there are advertisements. I see routinely legal notices, lists of unclaimed funds, and I believe people are called out by name when they have unclaimed funds. But the specifics to these two funds, I will direct your question to Mr. Matus and legal, and we'll get an answer back to you.
I appreciate it.
Do you have a comment, sir, that you want to add?
Well, I was just going to say I've seen that statute before, but with regard to the overage surplus fund, my understanding, excuse me, is that the Treasurer's Office is trying to identify people to return those monies, the specifics of which I would have to defer to the Treasurer.
Again, my first comment at the first public comment section was we were dealing with, taking too much money from the taxpayers and just having it sit idle. Now we've got, funds where it's significant dollars, and I would like to try to help get it back to the taxpayers in any way that we can. So I just wanted to mention that to the commissioners.
Thank you, sir.
What were the two funds
It
again?
was Fund 894. The title is Surplus Over, O-V-E-R. And the second is 803, Unclaimed Monies. I just wanted to make everyone aware of that and educate me if I'm wrong on that. But if I'm not, I'd like to help to try to get the money back to the taxpayers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, Jason, do we have any additional electronic submissions?
We do not.
Jason Boyd, County Administrator, indicating none. Thank you, sir. Okay, that concludes our second public comment portion. We do have a request for executive session. The requests are personnel collective bargaining and personnel employment. There'll be no business conducted afterwards. Do we have a motion to adjourn for indicated reasons?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? None being heard. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Commissioner Young.
Yes.
Commissioner Plechnik.
Yes.
Commissioner Hammercheck.
Yes. Very good. Thank you for joining us.